Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Zebra Product Manager Podcast. I'm Raul Garcia, and I'm here with Sunny Lee. Welcome, Sunny.
Hey, glad to be here.
Great. So, Sunny, tell me, what's the topic for today?
So today's topic, we're talking about expansion ports or modules for our industrial printers.
Okay, so different types of interfaces to our existing printers that are out there.
Right, so all of our industrial printers have at least one, most of them have two expansion port options. The expansion ports just give flexibility to the customers to have options for other types of connectivity for their printers.
Okay, great. So looks like we have four options here. Why don't we start out with this first one here?
So the Wi-Fi option is by far our most popular expansion option that we offer. It just gives customers that flexibility. Obviously, the printers, for the most part, are stationary for the industrial space, but there's some cases where maybe there's a temporary setup, maybe it's a seasonal thing, but having this Wi-Fi option, maybe that connection just not available for Ethernet in a certain part of their facility, just gives them flexibility to connect to their Wi-Fi infrastructure and get that printer up and running.
Definitely. I definitely see a benefit of being able to put a Wi-Fi connection onto industrial printers and be able to move it around within the warehouse or distribution center.
Exactly, yep.
So the second one looks like an applicator port, I'm assuming for print and apply machines, or maybe you're doing some type of automation.
Exactly. So the applicator port, think about some type of an automated system. Maybe there's a tamp arm involved. The printer and that automated system need to be able to communicate to each other, make sure that they're working in tandem. And that's what the applicator port does. It allows those two systems to talk to each other and make sure that they're working together.
Perfect. Now this one looks a little bit older. Tell me about this one.
So the parallel port, like you said, it's a dated type of technology. It's probably 20, 30 years at least when it was more widely used. But there's still some legacy systems out there where customers are using a parallel port. So we do offer it on some of our printers, not all of them. So for example, the ZT111, the ZT231, we don't offer that.
You don't have
Those are our newest models.
Sure.
So it is, I would say it's definitely on its way out, the parallel technology, but for now we still offer it as an option.
And it's more for the premium side of the tabletop printers.
We offer it on the mid-tier and the premium side right now. And again, it's not widely used, but we do offer it as an option.
Good to have, good to know and good to have.
Right.
Lastly, this looks like an Ethernet port. I get tons of questions on this from end users, from partners. I'll get phone calls saying, hey, want to add a secondary Ethernet port. Will they both work at the same time? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're right. We get that question quite a bit. And it does beg the question because all of our industrial printers have an Ethernet that comes standard with the printer. So why would you want the additional option there? And most often we get asked if this can be used like a redundant system where maybe if one goes down, the other will take over.
Sure.
Or if they can be used at the same time, maybe have two separate networks communicating to one printer. And unfortunately, that's not the case.
Okay, so it won't work at the same time.
It will not work at the same time. Once you install the expansion Ethernet port, it actually overrides, it turns off the onboard Ethernet.
Got it, okay.
So then obviously that begs the question, well, why do we offer it?
Right.
And there's one really distinct, specific use case where customers find it very valuable. And that's for customers where their infrastructure is doing what we call MAC level filtering. And without getting too caught up into it, basically those network infrastructures are whitelisting the MAC addresses that are allowed to be communicating on their network.
Okay.
It's a layer of security that some customers will implement. And if you're swapping printers in and out, maybe for service or maintenance, if you have to be going back to your IT leader to figure out which MAC addresses are on the whitelist, or if you got a new printer that you just purchased and you gotta wait till IT gets that on there, it can be cumbersome and add some time to getting that printer up online. So what's nice about the module is the MAC address stays with the module. So you could get this all set up on the network. You could swap the printers out of the line, put this into the new printer, and now that printer's up and running.
And that's where the benefit is, less downtime.
Less downtime, more flexibility, and just makes it easier for the customer when they're using that type of a use case.
Makes sense. So where can end users and partners get more information on these interfaces?
Right, so we offer these different types of interfaces, but they're not like all interchangeable between the different models. So I would recommend going to our spare parts guide, which is the URL on the bottom of your screen. There you'll have the part numbers that are correct for your specific model, and make sure you're ordering the right one that's going to fit your printer.
Wonderful. Sonny, this was all helpful and useful information. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you all for tuning in. We'll catch you at the next podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.